Hi, I'm Jeff Colton and welcome to an overview of Unit 7. In this unit, we examine some of the systems used by firms to cost their services and products, and the use to which cost information may be put. Information about product costs is vital for managers in making decisions that create value for the business. It may also be important in planning, controlling, and, more generally, managing resources. Cost objects. These are simply things that managers want to cost. The costing systems used by most organisations have at least two cost objects: products and responsibility centres such as departments. Products include goods or services. Traditionally, costing systems such as job costing and process costing have focused on the determination of a product cost that could be classified in inventory for external financial reporting purposes. However, due to an increasingly competitive business environment, along with an increase in the level of costs common to many cost objects, organisations have had to adopt a new approach to costing systems. They have done this by trying to understand costs incurred at all stages of the value chain, from R&D to design, production, distribution, and customer service. In the previous unit, we introduced the concept of fixed and variable costs, as well as direct and indirect costs. Recall that direct costs are those that can be directly linked or attributed to a cost object. Indirect costs are those that can't be directly attributable to a cost object. They would include things like rent for a factory, or the yearly insurance cost, or interest on a loan to the whole organisation. These indirect costs need to be allocated to the cost objects that receive the benefit from the indirect cost. This is so that the full cost of a cost object can be determined. This typically involves a number of steps. First, aggregating the indirect costs into what we call cost pools. This is to allow a more efficient cost allocation process than allocating each cost individually. Second, we identify the overhead cost driver, or the factor or activity that causes these costs to be incurred. This factor is then used as the basis for allocating the cost pools to cost objects or products. Third, we calculate a budgeted overhead rate per unit of the cost driver. This is the budgeted overhead divided by the budgeted level of activity for the coming year. Finally, we apply the costs to the cost objects at the budgeted or the predetermined rate, multiplied by the quantity of cost driver consumed by the cost object. Activity-based costing, or ABC, is an example of a costing system. It's designed to provide a more accurate method of costing by identifying activities in an organisation and then assigning the cost of activities to all products and services. In that sense, it is an extension of the costing system I just described. Activities are a type of task or a function performed in an organisation. For a manufacturing organisation, this could include things like materials handling, engineering, inspection, customer support, and information systems. For a service organisation, like an insurance firm, activities could include policy preparation, development of new insurance products, client support, marketing, and IT. Activity-based costing is likely to be useful when indirect costs are a large percentage of total costs, or where your firm has a diverse product range or resource use differs from volume, or where there are high costs from making bad decisions from inaccurate costing. For example, where margins are tight, so product costing needs to be more accurate. Before class, have a think about a major product or service line in your organisation. How is overhead allocated to the product or service? By a traditional costing system or an ABC system? Do you think your organisation is using the right approach? We'll think about those issues in our next week's unit.